Hi all, this is Bearer. In this video, we'll discuss about what are all the key differences we have in cloud computing services like Azure and AWS services. So these are the two major cloud computing services nowadays. Everyone is using in the internet world, and one side is Microsoft Azure and one side is Amazon Web Services. But most of them are having confusion that so what are all the key differences we have between these two. Of course, we have Google Cloud Computing also. These three are the main sources where we are getting the sources and putting all the things on the cloud. But these Azure and Amazon Web Services are having a major part compared to Google Cloud Computing. But in this session, we'll discuss about what are all the key areas we have a difference, minor difference. I can say a minor difference. So we will discuss what are all those. So nowadays, when it comes to cloud computing, the two names that the Microsoft Azure and Amazon Web Services pop-ups in anyone's mind, this AWS, Azure are only the thing. I mean, sources we have to purchase resources on cloud and putting our deployment on the cloud. The battle between the two biggest cloud services has been, there for more than 5 years. So we'll find out. So who is winning and who is going to win the battle? But this is just joking. So no winning in this part. Both are having good services, but majorly no differences between these two services. But there are some notation, and I mean the both terminals they have differences and minor changes like calculation of the the effort and the money compared to Azure and AWS have some difference. We'll see. So. Uh, so this is what the cloud computing is a revolutionary area in the technology universe and has become a prominent buzzword in the recent years. If you look at any area in the internet, everyone is saying about AWS or Azure or AWS. This is a buzzword prominently. Like everyone is speaking when more than two persons are gathering in some place, and they definitely discuss about. They're supposed to discuss about these two cloud computing services. This is a very prominent buzzword in the recent years. When it comes to cloud computing, the two names that pop ups in anyone's mind on AWS, as I told you, are Azure. The battle between the two biggest cloud services has been there for more than 5 years. So we'll see what are the key differences between this. And the first thing is we'll talk about computer power. Key attribute between this AWS and Azure. When it comes to AWS, this AWS EC2 like Elastic Cloud Computing users can configure their own virtual machines or choose pre-configured machine images or customized machine images. Users choose size, power, memory capacity, number of VMs, and choose from different regions and availability zones with which to launch from. So once you log into the AWS.com, AWS website, Amazon Web Services, so the user has to be select this, the size of virtual machine he has to require, computer power, like what kind of computer capacity, memory capacity, and number of VMs, and size of memory and RAM, and the region which is being used and where he is being stayed. These things he has to select it from this AWS, and then he has to proceed for getting this computer. When it comes to Azure, users choose virtual hard disk using VHD. There we say VM, virtual machine. Here they can say like virtual hard disk, which is equivalent to the machine instance to create VM. VHD, virtual hard disk, can be pre-configured by Microsoft, the user or third party. The user must specify the amount of cores and memory. So here all the same thing, it is providing it. So user has to specify the cores and memory, so that the Microsoft Azure itself will configure or already available with your configurations, and then you just select the uh, computing source and use it. And next prominent and the key attribute is storage. When it comes to Amazon Web Services, we have S3 simple storage service, Elastic Block Storage, an Elastic File System, and import export large volume data transfer service, Glacier Archive backup storage gateway, which integrates with the on-premises environment. When it comes to Azure, it's a core Azure storage service, Azure block-based storage, table queue and file storage, site recovery, import export, Azure backup. So almost almost same things are there in Azure, which are provided by AWS as well. But AWS has temporary storage that is allocated once an instance is started. When the instance is terminated, they also provide block storage, same as hard disk, that can be separated or attached to an instance. Azure offers temporary storage through a D drive. As I told you, it is like Azure block storage through page blobs or VMs. Block blobs and files also serve a object storage. Support relations database, NoSQL and big data through Azure table and queue and file storage, as I told you in the image. So Azure also offers same thing, and import and export and backup additional things. So most of the things are same here, but the terminal is different. They are using a simple storage service, and they are using an the D drive concept and other elastic block storage, elastic file system. They're also having a table queue and file storage. So import export Azure backups. This is what the difference of storage, and seems storage capacity and storage things and services are takes place. Same thing there in Azure and AWS, but the notation terminology is different. And network, when it comes to network, so if you look at this network, this is what the Amazon Web Services, and this is what the other networks. If you look at here, we have VPCs, and here we can say this is virtual network, and this is something called the virtual private cloud. So you just can create isolated network within the cloud. When it comes to the AWS, within a VPC in the AWS, user can create subnets, route tables, private IP addresses, ranges, and network gateways. So like that, they can create in the AWS environment with the virtual PC. When it comes to Azure, Microsoft also offers network, the virtual networks, that we can say virtual network, VNET, that offers users ability to create isolated networks as well, subnets, routes, tables, private IP address ranges, and network gateways. Both companies offers same solutions to extend the online, on premises data center into the internet and firewall options. So they can get it from different things from the virtual network or virtual private cloud, VPC, and Azure. And when it comes to Azure, we can get this network from the virtual network, VNET. Same features they are offering it, and same process they are creating subnets and IP address and everything same. Here also, and both are having separate gateways and firewalls options to put some security on these networks. So this is how the network configurations are getting it from the here we call it as a virtual private cloud. This is VPC, and we'll call it as a VPN and virtual network, VNET. But the things inside the concept is similar. In the both cloud services. And next one, we'll talk about pricing models. So this is what the pricing model we have in Azure Web Services, and this is what Amazon Web Services. On-demand pricing, free trial per hour they are calculating. Here also free trial, but they are calculated per minute in the Azure. This is I think charging is compulsory after trial period, but they are considering hours. Here in the Azure they are considering per minute. So no charge for stopped pay for EBS volume, stopped allocated bills for VM not SW. No charge for stopped also here also. Discount options also same thing, and reserved instances through resellers, reserved instances volume discounts, spot instances, reserved instances marketplace. These guys also having enterprise agreements. So based on the agreements and the resellers, they will be giving a discounts. Here they will be having reserved instances volume discounts. So both are having same discount prices. Amazon has a pay as you go model, and Azure also have a pay as you go model kind of thing, whether they charge per hour here in the AWS. But here in Azure, they charge per minute, which provides a more exact pricing model. Azure also offers short-term conditions with the options between prepaid monthly charges. So same thing is happening, and only the difference is they are charging per minute and they are charging per hour, and both are on-demanding pricing only, and discount options also. They have their relevant areas. And coming to the integration, open source. Uh, So integration open source. Amazon has had a better relationship with the open source community. So there are more open source integrations available in this platform, like Jenkins and GitHub, because these are friendlier to Linux servers. This is open source. Unix is open source. Linux is open source, where you can install all the softwares on that. Linux, Jenkins and GitHub, and you can access it from the AWS. When it comes to Azure, if you are already using a Windows development tool such as VBS and SQL database, Active Directory, Azure offers a native integration for these tools. So if you are already an account holder in the Microsoft or are using the softwares, you'll be having a native integration for these tools. For example, use the same Active Directory account. You currently have to sign into Office 365 or SQL's instance. Azure is also good for .NET developers. When it comes to an open source, Microsoft has not always embraced the model, but Azure is catching up. Organizations now can run Red Hat Enterprise Linux and Apache Hadoop clusters in Azure. So initially they are not yet done, but nowadays the Azure also come up with an open source integrations like Linux and Apache Hadoop clusters in Azure as well. So no worries about the open source in Azure as well. And the second key attribute is compliance. So what are the compliance in the AWS? So AWS has a longer relationship with the government sectors, but their compliance offering includes certifications in ITR and DISC and HIPAA and CJS and FIPS and more on other etc. certifications. They also provide security so that only screen persons can access the cloud. Must for agencies handling sensitive information. Like if you look at banking sectors, if you're looking at the government sectors, so based on the screen users, the screens will get changed and the permissions will get approved and features can be displayed on the screen. Otherwise, this is more sensitive data when it comes to political things or the government things and the other government sectors. In coming to the Azure, Microsoft claims to have more than 50 compliant offerings, so including above set certifications and the companies. Microsoft provides the same level of security as Amazon, setting up permissions so that only screen persons can access the government level cloud. And coming to the next attribute is user friendliness. AWS offers the more features and configurations if you are willing to learn the system. And IT pros agree that AWS offers a lot of power, flexibility, customization room, which support for many third-party integrations. But there is a learning curve with AWS. We have to learn everything from the AWS. We have to get it from the AWS, and first you will be aware of, like, you have to get the knowledge from the AWS server, like how it is going to be used and how you are going to work out with the AWS Amazon App Services. This is somewhat thing we need to get it from before getting to this AWS. Otherwise, everything is user friendly and it has more features and configurations. When it comes to Azure, if you are a Windows admin, Azure will be easier to use out of the box because it is a Windows platform and does not require learning something new. Yes, I agree. Because if you are having a Windows operating system and you are already a .NET developer, you are already aware of what is what a Windows operating system. No need of learning it, and you can directly use the Azure. It's simple to integrate on-premises Windows Server, which cloud instances to create hybrid environment. Tools such as SQL database and Active Directory work with Azure. This is what the difference. But in this friendliness, I can say if you are an .NET developer, have a Windows operating system, this is what the benefit of from the Azure. And last one is the licensing. Amazon offers a few different options for licensing in the cloud. Customers can purchase new license or bring their previously purchased licenses as part of their partnership with Microsoft. In this case, user can use dedicated host or software assurance to move their license to the cloud. This is compulsory in the AWS server. You have to get it, the previous licenses purchased as part of their partnership with Microsoft before you move from one license to another license, but you should have a dedicated host name. When it comes to Azure, Microsoft offers license mobility for qualifying application servers, but users must determine if their servers fit the requirement for mobility to avoid paying of extra licensing. Windows Server itself is not eligible. If you spin up a VM virtual machine in the cloud running same stack, you will pay for 2 Windows Server licenses since that license is charged per usage and not eligible for mobility. However, SQL license is eligible, so you can use that to run SQL server in the cloud. Yeah, the Windows Server itself is not eligible, so you have to pay for 2 Windows Server license since the license is charged per usage. So when you are using more than one Windows Server, you have to pay license for the second user. But when it comes to SQL license, SQL Server, you can access it with single license. So this is how licensing is having in Azure and AWS. Seems both are have their own way, but when it comes to an outer level, both are same. I should not say like there are more and much differences between this, cloud. I mean, AWS and Azure all are similar. If you look at the explained the key attributes, apart from minor changes. So better you. I mean, it depends on the environment you are working on. It like if you are working on Windows operating system, I mean, you definitely choose the Azure. If you are working on other things, Unix or Linux or even Windows also, you may select an AWS because of your awareness and the tools like which are provided as open source kind of thing. So hope this clears like what are all the key differences we have in AWS and Azure. So please be in touch with this channel and please subscribe more videos on this. Thank you.